We love talking to Volk's team. We love talking to Ilia's team. One member of Volk's team, Craig Jones, he was on the program before the last Volk fight, of course, in Abu Dhabi against Islam Makhachev. He's kind enough to join us right now via the Magic Zoom. There he is. Hello, Craig. How are you?
What's going on, man? What's the news?
Wow. Look at this view you got here. I mean, this is some kind of living.
Mate, we're doing it tough out here in California. You know, tough summer.
Yeah. How long have you been there?
We flew in, like 6 a.m. 2 days ago.
Okay.
Long 15-hour journey from Australia. Never gets easier.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But first class, it's nice, right? They treat you well over there?
Yeah, first class. Luckily, Volkanovski, because obviously I'm the most valuable member of the team, he puts me up in business. He puts the rest of the scrubs back in economy.
Yeah, that's what I figured. You guys went to a Kings game, though. I saw that you were right behind the great Will Ferrell.
We were there watching the Kings game. I'd never even seen a hockey game before, to be honest. But yeah, I was probably more excited about seeing Will Ferrell than I was about the hockey game.
Well, you didn't like it?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I barely could even follow where the puck's going. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm a bit slow or something. But yeah, that's a tough game to follow. I was hoping to see some more fights.
Yeah.
But
did you see any?
Nah, a little bit, but they broke it up. But nothing too major. No damage.
Yeah. They're a bit wussy. What about Will Ferrell? Did he know you? Did he recognize you? Is he a fan? Does he follow you? What was his reaction?
Yeah, unfortunately not. It was good to actually watch. I was watching absolute master at ignoring fans calling him for photos. It was like a black belt level of not even turning his eyes at all to them. And I was like, wow, this man's been in the game a long time.
Did he acknowledge you guys at all? Like, does he know who Volk is, maybe? Was there any sort of interaction?
Yeah, they had a little interaction. I can't remember what happened. I think he asked Volks if Volks was a hockey fan. I think Volks was like, no, I'm Australian. I think maybe that might have ended the conversation there. But Will's definitely seemed like quite a passionate hockey fan. I think the guy that sat us down said he had been at the Lakers game that day. So I guess, big sports guy.
Yeah. Good to see you guys back. Could I ask, what was your takeaway? You know, we spoke to you on the Monday before the Abu Dhabi fight, and there's been so much, I guess, debate as to, was it the right move? Was it the wrong move? Will it change him? Will it not change him? You know, a champion who's been reigning as long as he has, is often not going into a title defense coming off a knockout loss, right? This is very unique. And so when you left Abu Dhabi back in October, how did you feel about the decision? Hindsight being 2020, but how did you feel about the decision and whether or not it would affect him long term?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's so hard to say. Hey, like obviously we're all just so sad after the circumstances of the fight and stuff, and then obviously the post-fight. I think they released some of the footage now, like it was sad moments backstage. But then yeah, I mean, he's obviously just became so much more. I don't know if you guys can you hear that fucking airplane flying by?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
I'll go back inside.
Okay.
But obviously he was so motivated by that. Like he's been training so hard and stuff. So I think it's just going to do good things for him going ahead into the future. You know, like it's just so motivated. Me, if I take a loss, I'm probably in grappling. I'm probably going to be on a bender for a good 3 months. Folks, on the other hand, he gets straight back to it. That's a real athlete right there.
And did you feel like he was coming back too soon?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's better. I think he was going to be doing January, but now obviously they moved the card to February. I think Strickland Dricus. I think they were originally going to do the Strickland Dricus fight card, but yeah, I think it's a better time frame, better time zone to do it. So yeah, I think it's been plenty of time.
Okay, your video froze on us here. So I see just like, oh, there you are. You're back now. Okay.
I'm back. My bad. I got this difficult California Wi-Fi, you know?
Yeah, no. I feel you. Any sort of difference in him? Do you feel, sometimes someone suffers a loss like that, they're a little trepidatious, they're lacking confidence, they're questioning themselves. As a training partner and coach of his, do you sense any sort of difference?
I mean, honestly, I think this camp's probably like he's probably put more work in for this camp in terms of I've only been there for the last week or so, but he's had so many different training partners coming in and out. Like we even had Jack Della there for a week, so obviously gives some good looks. I would personally say similar to Ilia. So I think he's actually gone above and beyond this camp. So I think he's just so motivated to sort of right that wrong. And because obviously a lot of people saying a lot of stuff after that fight. Some people even look past him in this one. So I think it's nothing but motivation for him. I think probably training harder than ever. He already shocked me at how hard he trains in the training room, again, compared to myself as a jiu-jitsu athlete. He's barely a professional athlete. So, like, for him to step it up a notch again just surprises me. Surprises me every time.
Speaking of looking past, what about Ilia Topuria? His social media bio, he says featherweight champion, 15-0. He's currently 14-0. I mean, this is bold stuff, right? It's one thing to say, oh, I'm going to knock this guy out. I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to do this and that. He's putting it out there. Like, he's putting it in stone, so to speak. How do you feel about his confidence going into the fight? Well,
obviously, he's a German-born El Matador. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think a bit of an identity crisis, calling those shots too early, saying he's the champ. So, I mean, he's a character. I think it's an interesting thing.
okay, so that felt like gold right there from you, Craig, but your internet got all screwy on us. What are you? Are you on Wi-Fi or what is going on over there? Have you not paid your phone? What's happening?
Give this a crack again.
Okay. What are you on now? Wi-Fi?
I turned the Wi-Fi off. Is that better?
Yeah, maybe that's going to get better. Let's see.
All right. So what was I saying? I was saying Ilia, I think he has a bit of an identity crisis. You know, he already thinks he's the champ. He's already putting it down. He's born in Germany, raised in Georgia, calls himself the El Matador. But me personally, I spent a summer in Puerto Rico. I don't consider myself a Boricua. So I think, yeah, generally speaking, an interesting guy.
I mean, does this piss you guys? Do you guys talk about this? This freaking guy, he's saying he's the featherweight champion. He's 15-0. Do you speak on this? Does Volk ever speak on it?
No, not that I'm aware of. It's kind of more of a laughing matter, you know. It's hard to take a man in a turtleneck sweater too seriously.
Right. He come on, nice dressed guy, right? I mean, he's always dressed to the nines. He's got the double-breasted.
I mean, he's a good-looking guy. Me and Volks look at him and we see that thick head of hair. Obviously, a bit of jealousy, but at the same time, you have to be a brave man to rock a turtleneck.
Your thoughts on his skills?
I mean, awesome. Yeah, obviously, as a jiu-jitsu guy, when he beat Ryan Hall, those were sad times for us jiu-jitsu fans. Unfortunately, didn't get the heel hook there. But yeah, obviously, very, very talented guy. I think he looks very talented, but still haven't seen him against some of the, I guess, those big names in the division. Like, I would have liked to have seen him fight Yair or Ortega. Obviously, everyone would have wanted to see him to fight Holloway, but Holloway just seems to shut the division down for everyone else, you know?
Yeah. And so speaking of those guys, and they're all guys that Volk beat recently in the last couple of years, where would you put Ilia among those guys? Like in terms of the, the test that he presents to Alex?
I mean, yeah, it's an interesting thought. It's kind of hard to rank him based on skill set like that. I mean, obviously Holloway has beaten everyone else. So it's kind of like you have to rank him at the top. A lot of people talk about his boxing and stuff. So I think like Ilia versus Holloway would have been a super interesting fight to really see where Ilia's skill set is at. But again, yeah, so many of those fights would have been interesting fights. But obviously, you got the Emma win and got jumped straight to the title.
Who do you think wins that, Holloway or Ilia?
I think Holloway does. I think it's like obviously Volk clearly top of featherweight, then Holloway, and then sort of a bit of a jump to that next level of guys. But again, Ilia, obviously, because we haven't seen him fight these guys, you really don't know how good he could be just based on who he's for.
I like you because you always shoot it straight with us. You know, you keep it real, as the kids say. So let me ask you, who do you reckon the UFC wants to win this fight?
Who do I reckon? I mean, obviously, in business-wise, they probably want to sell a stadium out in Spain or something like that. But yeah, Volk's a huge star. I mean, it's hard. I think they make it work either way, you know?
Okay.
But again, I don't know. You tell me. A lot of the time, they do like a bit of a fresh champ from time to time, you know?
Yeah, I honestly, because, Volk is in, I would say he's like the best champion for them because he's not a pain in their ass. He doesn't, he steps up on 11 days notice. He's not a guy who's a malcontent. He doesn't, I feel like the whole team has a good relationship with the brass. But I was wondering if you thought just because of, Ilia being fresh, being from a corner of the world that they haven't tapped into, being a good-looking guy, if you guys or if you thought that they were hoping that he would win and start a new reign, a new era.
Oh, I mean, probably. I mean, Ilya's already, what is he filming, a documentary about himself already?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, he's fucking right on board with that. I don't know. I mean, us Aussies, we kind of laugh at some of the stuff like that extreme confidence, extreme, I don't know, it's a bold move, because I look at some of these moves, obviously, from my shitty sport of grappling, but like, if I'd made a documentary about me becoming ADCC champ, I've now lost ADCC 4 times, so it'd be quite a sad, long story, you know what I mean? So he's got some balls on him to throw that documentary out there.
Not only that, if it doesn't go his way, having to change the bio again will be tough, no?
He should have to film that. Someone should go live while he changes that bio, put on some sad Spanish music, change the El Matador name too, maybe.
You think this fight remains standing, or do you think it goes on the ground? Like, where do you think the majority of the fight will be played out?
I mean, it's a good question. Honestly, obviously, I back Volk everywhere.
Sure.
But if, obviously, you had to see a easiest path to victory, I'd have to imagine the grappling does favor Volkanovski. I think, obviously, the wrestling does too. Me personally, when I train with Volks, he feels like a welterweight. He feels like one of the strongest fucking human beings on earth. So I think as soon as he gets his hands on Ilia, Ilia's going to be in for a rude awakening. I think most people say the same thing. Even Islam, when you see him lock up in the wrestling exchanges, they're shocked at how strong this little bastard is.
I saw you were in Kazakhstan for a while, right? Were you doing some rehab over there? What was going on over there?
Rehab, yeah. Obviously, I've been enjoying the after parties a bit too much, so I secluded myself in the mountains of Kazakhstan to stay away, stay focused. I got karate combat and Fight Pass Invitational coming up, so I got to get back in shape for that.
Yeah, so the karate combat, that's against Phil Rowe in Mexico City, right?
Against Phil Rowe. So me and Phil Rowe have beef because we've both of us have infringed on the trademark rights of the Chicago Bulls. We did it with our BT merch. Phil Rowe did it with his merchandise. So we're basically going to settle this like men in Mexico and pull guard, and whoever wins owns the rights to that trademark infringement really against the Bulls.
Okay. And so the winner is the one that could get sued, or is the loser the one that has to incur all the costs that come with the trademark infringement?
Well, I think ultimately we're both going to get sued, but at least one of us has some bragging rights in this department. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to do karate combat because they have those fucking sick outfits. Those guys are rocking the gi pants and the belt. I was like, hey. And then when they said Mexico City, I was like, sign me up. Maybe we pull out a mariachi band or something.
Yeah, but karate combat does grappling. I didn't know this.
Yes, they started it. They're calling it the pit grappling series.
Wow.
I don't know. I just went to one of the shows and I was like, this fucking shit's wild. This is literally like an 80s movie. It's like kids with mullets doing karates. It was just wild. It's hilarious at the same time. And I told the guys, Sim, I was like, bro, we got to go wild in Mexico. We got to do some crazy shit down there.
What do you mean by crazy shit?
Well, I mean, just obviously indulging in the Mexican culture. You know what I mean? Mexican exports, maybe. But yeah, mostly I think I'm planning some elaborate walkout with, I won't give away too much, but it should be a good time. Okay. I won't, unfortunately, get to enjoy the after party too much because we have Rafael Lovato on UFC Fight Pass. That'll be interesting, tough match.
And that's March 2nd, right?
You know, I should know that. It's either the 2nd or the 3rd. And to be honest, I was in the mountains of Kazakhstan when they sent the contract, so I didn't even read the rules. I don't know the length of the match or the weight division, but I was like, Lovato is someone I've always wanted to take on, so I was like, fuck it, let's see what happens.
And so the Kazakhstan, were you really there to rehab, or were you there to, because I saw some of the footage. What were you doing? The stuff on the horses and all this, you were in a real remote location.
Oh, yeah, yes. I've been going to Kazakhstan for years because they had the ADCC trials out there. So I got some close friends in Kazakhstan, and it's just an adventure every time. One of my friends, Arlan, out there, he owns this hunting lodge that's like 3,500 meters high. It's like 1,000 square kilometers, and he's got like snow leopards and shit. So we had the opportunity to go out there, and I was like, fuck, let's check it out. I love a bit of an adventure like that, you know? A lot of these guys are training full time. Me, I want to do the bare minimum and enjoy some of these bonuses as much as possible.
You even were wearing the traditional Kazakhstani garb. I don't know. I don't want to speak. I don't know what it's called, but where did you get that? Did they gift that to you? I mean, this is some of these photos here that we're showing are exquisite. I mean, this looks like a photo shoot.
Oh, yeah. It was actually, what did we do? We ended up hiring, they do couples photos like that. And I remember we saw it. We were like, fuck, that sounds pretty fun. So we got some Kazakh girls to participate in a full photo shoot with us.
Okay.
It was minus 20 degrees. I mean, we had to rent the outfits and stuff. We went pretty hard on this, but obviously we're getting deep into the Kazakh culture. I'm working on a bit of I don't want to say too much, but we're doing a bit of a travel series for martial arts. So like Kazakhstan's going to be one of the destinations. So we're going to film some wild stuff out there.
And how's the food over there?
The food, I ate nothing but horse meat every day. Oh. Every morning I'd look in the mirror and not look like Alistair Overeem at all, unfortunately. So I think there was obviously something more to his stack than a bit of horse meat, but we'll keep trying. It tastes pretty good.
How does it taste? I've never tried it. Well, like, what would you equate it to? Does it taste like steak? Like, if you didn't know, would you think it was from a cow?
I mean, you'd look at it and you'd know something was up, but it tastes kind of like kangaroo, you know, or venison or something like that.
Do you like kangaroo?
Would you try it?
No.
You wouldn't try it?
No, it's disgusting. Come on. I mean, come on. Horses, I draw the line at the cow. And even that I feel a little bit weird about. But the horse, I mean, it just feels like a bridge too far.
No? I mean, it's every meal over there, right? Like, I love when I was over there when you were in some of these cultures, like they were telling me horse meat cures everything. I remember one guy told me, he's like, if you eat horse meat, your hair won't fall out. So fuck, I was all over it every day. You know, it cures everything.
So you're legit eating that for breakfast too?
For breakfast, yeah. Well, there's a meal over there called bishpamak. So that's like I was hitting that heavy lunch and dinner. You know, breakfast was just a coffee really, but every other meal we'll get into the horse. Well, you got to try it. You got to come to Kazakhstan. There's got to be a UFC out there one day.
You think so? You think they're gonna go there?
For sure. It's a wild place, fun place to go. They got some tough guys. I tried to train with Shovkat while I was out there, but he was unfortunately, I think he was in Austria at the time, but I really wanted to train with him. I love training with all the MMA guys. Like obviously, I just did some work with Jack Della because he's got Gilbert Burns coming up. And man, Jack Della impresses the fuck out of me, even in a pure grappling sense. This guy is something special. Like, even when I watch him train, I like learn stuff from him. He's such like a creative grappler. I think it's going to be him versus Gilbert. It's going to be huge.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great fight.
Will you be cornering him for that?
No, I won't be cornering him. I just did a little bit of work. I mean, most of the time, let's be honest, these MMA guys, they really don't need a jiu-jitsu guy in the corner. You know, like wrestling's going to take priority. I'll help out, especially pure submission defense and maybe a little bit of round scrambles, but like he's got his 3-man corner. They bring me in when they get the title fight because they get that extra corner menu.
Right.
Obviously, Volks loses the title. I'm fucking out of there fast. You know what I mean? I'm dead weight. I'm just riding the coattails, selling some instructionals.
I'm surprised that MMA promotions haven't come knocking at your door. You're very popular. You'll sell the fight. You're great on social media. It feels like someone should give you, and not put you in there against a top 5 guy, but just like a cupcake fight, just to get some buzz for their promotion.
Oh, like an actual fight?
Like a legit fight, yeah, an MMA fight. I'm surprised. Has no one reached out to you about this? Has no one offered you anything?
I mean, we had that whole saga with Gabby Garcia. That was the only time I was ever offered a real fight. And
really?
I was against a woman. So I'm not sure about what level of danger people think I threat if the fights they offer are against women.
A one championship, a PFL, none of these people have knocked on your door?
Actually, I almost signed the contract with one for grappling, and they kept asking me about MMA, but I was like, mate, I mean, if I can make enough money grappling, I think I'll dodge the brain. I mean, if you look at my social media, you probably assume I've taken a few hits to the head, so it's probably not a good career choice right now.
Your interview series, I saw one of them. You were doing some interviews in Thailand. I mean, it was very interesting content. Your your stuff is crazy.
I mean,
like you're completely.
At the heart of me, I'm a true journalist. So when a ladyboy wants to do a podcast, I will go to deep depths to ensure that truly is a ladyboy and I'm not being lied to.
Sure. And do you have a crew with you doing this, or are you doing it all are you setting up the cameras by yourself and, the lighting and all that?
I mean, obviously, high budget crew, it looks like I've set it up myself half the time. But yeah, I do try to get some help in there. Because, I mean, you leave it up to me, I might forget to plug in the microphones, So I usually try and hire some people on the go, or back in Austin, get some guys. I mean, I did the podcast with Alex Jones. Luckily, he brought me down to InfoWars and we used his expensive ass studio. But yeah, my production quality is just going up and down depending on what part of the world I'm in.
What is like your dream? Like who's your dream your dream interview, dream subject? What is something that you're like, man, I need to do something on this?
Oh man, who's the dream? I mean, anyone that's unhinged, like you're probably after the same one. You want an MMA guy to come on here and say some wild shit. That's my dream too. I want some crazy person to let go of a rant and I can quickly post it before they tell me not to.
I guess maybe the closest we have to that now is Sean Strickland.
Oh yeah, man. You know what this guy did to me actually, right? Like I was at the UFC event sitting next to him when he attacked Dricus, right? And what was hilarious, Strickland, obviously no idea who I am, but it was the Tony Ferguson-Paddy Pimblett fight. He's sitting next to me. He goes live on Instagram and he's just shitting on Tony Ferguson's jiu-jitsu.
Oh, wow.
And then it turns into a rant about how jiu-jitsu is useless for MMA and all this stuff. And then he pans the camera to me and then he's asking me, look how shit jiu-jitsu is. And then he goes over to Volks as well. And I was like, either this guy's a fucking genius or this is just off the cuff and he doesn't know I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. But that guy is fucking unhinged.
Did you tell him you were a jiu-jitsu guy at any point? Maybe when he stopped recording?
No, I told him I agree with him. I said, yeah, you're probably right. You know what I mean? And then I said, hey, you should probably turn around and bite Dricus.
Where were you in the midst of all of that? Did you get in to try to break it up, or did you run away?
No, I sat back. My biggest regret was not filming it. You know what I mean? And selling that footage. But for a while, I just couldn't believe what was happening. And then the other guys were breaking him up. And I was like, don't break him up. Let's see what happens here. I remember I was in this trance watching this happen. And I swear I saw Strickland try to bite him, but I was too scared to say anything in an interview. And then Strickland eventually said on, I think, Theo Von that he did try to bite him. And I was actually seeing reality there.
Your instincts were right, yeah. And then he got escorted out, right?
Yeah, but he was out of there. Yeah, and he wasn't even there long. He was there 2 fights, and then he attacked Strickland, and he's gone again. So you never know what you're going to get with this guy. I felt bad for his friend that he brought along with him, because he's probably brought his friend. He's like, hey, you want front row tickets to the UFC? And then the fight breaks out, and they're out of there. So his mate saw 2 fights. He saw Strickland heckle Tony Ferguson and David Goggins, and then they called it a night.
And I know you and Gordon Ryan have, your own kind of rivalry. I saw you posted of it. You were sort of mocking him about his truck getting stolen. I mean, no sympathy, no, nothing like that.
I mean, Ariel, the guy's online and he's making videos about defending the southern border, and he can't even defend his own driveway. You know what I mean? Like, it's too good to be true. Like, you throw that bait out there, I'm going to take it. And then afterwards, he posts about how he has friends all over the country, and if you cross him, he's going to get you. And he showed that the police got his car back. There was a tracking device in the car. I'm like, the police just did their job, brother. Relax, Like, I don't know. I can't help it. It's the dream to me to attack this man.
Why?
I mean, he's just, sometimes I think he's setting me up. Like, it's too, like, I can't help myself. I see something funny, I'm gonna comment on it. Like, something happened recently where the there was a spam email that went out from ASOS, the fashion brand, right? And they sent it out and they were baiting people. Like, I'm talking millions of emails, this spam campaign. And he thought it was a legitimate sponsorship offer from ASOS. And he emailed him back and he said, I would never work with you guys. You guys supported BLM. You're fascists. And he screenshot and posted this email. But it was a spam email. And I'm just like, bro, this is too good to be true. Like, you must be doing this on purpose.
Oh, man. And how do you know it was spam?
Every comment in the thing was like, bro, I got this email too.
Ah, damn.
I love that shit though. That's too good.
It's good. It's a fun little rivalry you guys have. Any talks of that this year?
No talks this year. What's been happening? I think he's retired from everything except ADCC again. I think he's still got some medical issues. But his teammate Marigali keeps calling me out. But as far as I know, in the training room these days, Marigali kicks the shit out of him. And I beat Marigali at the last ADCC. So as far as I see it, I might as well just retire on top and ride off into the sunset, you know?
You're the champ, yeah. There was a list that came out from The Independent in the UK where they ranked the top 50 most influential people in MMA and boxing. Gordon Ryan came in at number 50.
He made the top 50. That's pretty good. I mean, yeah. I mean, the dude gets some traction on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, I got to give it to him. Like, he posts something, people are talking, people are confused what it means, you know? Like, I got to give him credit.
Who would be your dream opponent for you in a grappling match? If you can have one dream match this year.
I mean, Lovato has been like a dream of mine just because I feel like you really want to face grapplers that were big when you were coming up. Mm-hmm. So it's like Lovato, obviously tail end of his career. So for me, that's a good one because when I was coming up, Lovato's a legend. But I mean, half the shit I want to do is just talk shit on the internet, really. And I look at two guys, Gordon and Marigali, and win or lose the match, I'll win the pre-fight banter, and that's what's most important to me. And those two guys are very fun to make fun of. So it's like, in terms of me and my goals, that to me sounds pretty fucking exciting.
All right. And by the way, how often are you actually in Australia?
I mean, very, very rarely. I've been on the road this year alone. I was in Bali, Phuket, Almaty, back to Bali, and then I was in Kazakhstan before Australia. Man, all over the place, hey. Too much time on planes, eh?
Yeah,
it's gonna kill me.
Where is actual home for you? Is it Austin or is it Australia?
Austin, Texas is home, but to be honest, I haven't even been in Austin as of this year. So It's like I just keep being pulled in different directions. You know, it doesn't take too much to entice me to come somewhere. Like, feel like, hey, come to Kazakhstan. I'll be like, fuck it, why not?
Do you ever get tired of living out of a suitcase, being on a plane, this and that?
For sure. I tell you what I get tired is being in a new country at 3 a.m. and there's nowhere I can get a coffee or anything. That's when I'm really at my lowest, you know, when I'm like, oh, I can't get Uber Eats. That's the real struggle. But yeah, I enjoy it for now.
I like
a bit of an adventure.
Why are you looking for coffee at 3 a.m.?
Well, I mean, if I'm up, I'm up. Right. You know what I mean? Like you've probably had it before. You travel to cover a fight or something. You find yourself in weird places when you're jet lagged.
That's right. That's a good point. Final prediction on Saturday. What are you feeling?
I'm thinking flying triangle, maybe first round. I really push him every single fight. I was like, Vox, I know you've got your legacy on the line, but think about my instructional sales. That's our top priority here, you know?
Imagine what is more improbable, a flying triangle or a gogo plata?
Honestly, if you look at Volk's legs, I'd be quite concerned if he were to put Ilia in a go-go plata because I'm not sure he'd be able to get him out of there. They'd have to get the jaws of life on him.
What is his best move? His best submission?
Best grab? Man, I mean, he honestly does have a pretty good leg lock. He loves an arm in guillotine. Well, I mean, in terms of highest percentage, bro, I mean, for most MMA guys, it's gonna be a rear naked choke. I mean, the tough thing with MMA is most of the time when they submit a guy, the guy has rocks or he's just so broken, physically exhausted. They could take it with anything. It's pretty rare for an MMA guy to catch a clean early submission. Usually the other guy's a bit broken down. But yeah, flatten a guy out from back, throwing the rear naked. I think that's definitely a top percentage move for Volks and for, again, it's the smartest game plan for grappling MMA.
One last one. Did you see end of the year at the Fury grappling event? Aljamain was very upset about his opponent doing the butt scoot thing too much and was critical. Like, you know what I mean? Did you agree with him on that, or is that just a part of the game? Is that just something you have to deal with?
I tell you what, I totally agree with him. Like, I mean, we look very gay in what we do, you know. But at the same time, if I look at another man across, especially as an Australian who didn't grow up with any wrestling, if I look at another man and I go, that guy can wrestle, well, God damn it, I'm going to sit down before he takes me down. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But it is an unappealing aspect of grappling. I can't deny that. I love wrestling if I'm a better wrestler, but other than that, God damn it, I'm sitting down fast.
Fair enough. Always a pleasure, Craig. Good luck to the upcoming matches that you have coming up, of course. But Saturday, first things first, good luck to you and the team in the return of Alex Volkanovski. Looking forward to it very much. Appreciate you giving us some time.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Speak to you soon.
Yes, sir. Cheers. There he is. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.